but it is my favorite time of the year. I now have a 2-year-old baby girl, and we are all about our Halloween books. So, like I said, it is my favorite time of year. We have a ton of Halloween books, but I figured I would take a minute to just share some of my favorite Halloween board books with you in case they are ones that you may want to add to your library, because we love these. They all have different themes, and granted, they are all Halloween themed, but they are all different purposes. Some are counting, some are just for fun, some are letter books, and I thought I would share with you what we're loving, and maybe you love some of them too. So the first one is Goodnight Goon, which is a take on Goodnight Moon. And this one's just a fun read. It's just, in a cold gray tomb, there was a gravestone and a black lagoon and a picture of, and so we've got all the spooky things. And my girl right now is currently very obsessed with skeletons. And so we love any Halloween book that has a skeleton in it. This one's probably the spookiest out of the books that we have. We don't have too many spooky Halloween books, but we don't mind a little spooky over here. And I still think this is age appropriate for toddlers because the pictures are fun. Yes, they're we've got the ghoul. They're a little, they're some of your more hauntingly fun Halloween creatures, but we've got the skeleton, so Goodnight Bones and the Black Lagoon. And it's just a fun read, especially if they know Goodnight Moon. This one is great for them to have as well if you are a Halloween lover like us. So that is Goodnight Goon. And I like that they're board books because she can look at them, play with them without me worrying that they're going to get ripped. These are ones that we will actually put in her crib with her. She likes to have books while she's in her crib because sometimes she naps and sometimes she just rests and looks at books for 2 hours. And so these I can put in her crib without worrying that, pages are going to accidentally get torn. She's very, very cautious with books. She knows how to use them. But, with paperback, things just happen. So this one is Pika Flap Boo, and we are big fans of the Pika Flap books over here. There's quite a few of them. I just found this one, though. I didn't know they had Pika Flap Boo, and I found this and was so excited because these are fun because you do have the Lift the Flaps, which she loves. She loves anything with Lift the Flaps, but for example, this page says, Happy Halloween. Look around this pumpkin patch to find someone hiding in a pumpkin. So first we try and find, who's hiding? Oh, nobody here. Who's hiding here? Mouse is hiding in the pumpkin. But what we love about the Pika Flap books there are factual information in them. So it shares, yes, you have your vampire, and you can say vampires are pretend, but bats are real, and people say that that bats turn into vampires on Halloween. Bats are the only mammals that can fly. So you have some real information thrown in here with, the fun and fiction and fantasy of Halloween. So you have that, and this says most of the pumpkins grown in the United States are grown on farms in Illinois. I did not know that, so I learned something new from our Pika Flap Boo book. And again, just each page has the flaps. And this page, it tells them to pick their favorite costume. So you can talk about what different costumes look like and mean. This one, she loves this page because it says it's time for a haunted hayride. Open the barn doors to meet some friends who live on the farm. So you've got the cow. You've got your black cats and your rooster and your chicks, but she loves this scarecrow because so far, really the only scarecrows she's seen have been scarier looking. So she was very confused. At first, she was like, that's not a scarecrow, but I was like, no, that's a scarecrow. It just is a friendly scarecrow. And so she really likes this page. So that is Pika Flap Boo. And like I said, we love the Pika Flap books. They always share, like I said, some factual information. This one says a spider can make a web that has sticky glue in some parts but not in others. Halloween used to be called All Hallows Eve. And so we have Pika Flap Boo. We also have Pika Flap Who. And that one talks about forest animals. You learn about the different forest animals. I think there's Pika Flap Grow, which talks about gardening. All kinds of Pika Flap Boos, or Pika Flap books. And I just think they're great. Our next Halloween board book is You're My Little Baby Boo. We also have a whole collection of the You're My Little books. Love, love, love these books. I love these books so much. And I didn't know they had a Halloween one until a few weeks ago. So I got it. And it's so, so sweet. It says, You're my little baby boo. You never need to fear. Whatever fright comes in the night, I'll always be right here. We've got owls. And we always say, oh, there's the mommy owl and there's the baby owl. Or she'll say the daddy pumpkin and the mommy or the daddy pumpkin and the baby pumpkin. We've got candy corn, tiny but sweet. We've got the moon. She loves the sparkly moon. And then it says, now let's drift off to dreamland as I sing you a lullaby. And so I like this one because it's a good nighttime story too. We can end with the okay, it's time to sing songs, which is what we do as we put her to bed. So since the book ends in a lullaby, we have a nice transition to go to bed because a lot of times she wants to keep reading and we have to say, no, it's time to sing songs and get in our crib. So that's You're My Little Baby Boo. Like I said, we love the You're My Little books too. There's You're My Little Firecracker, and I saw that it was currently 44% off, so I figured I would share that little fun fact. If you are looking for more books that aren't Halloween themed, the You're My Little Firecracker is just over $5 right now, and we love that book as well. So next we have Five Little Pumpkins. And for those that know the poem, it's just a picture book that goes along to the Five Little Pumpkins poem. So 5 little pumpkins sitting on a gate. The first one said, oh my, it's getting late. The second one said, there are witches in the air. The third one said, but we don't care. So we'll count the pumpkins. There's our 5 pumpkins. The fourth one said, let's run and run and run. The fifth one said, I'm ready for some fun. Ooh, went the wind and out went the light. And the 5 little pumpkins rolled out of sight. And so we'll count the pumpkins as they're rolling away. She finds the ghost and the cat and the house and the moon. She likes to find the things in the pictures. But they have this one. So these are all by Dan Yaccarino. So 5 little pumpkins. And then there's also 5 little pumpkins came back, which is also another fun read. We do not have that. I had checked it out at the library, but we have now returned it. But it is another fun addition to 5 little pumpkins. Then there is 7 orange pumpkins. So this is its own story. It's not there's no like known rhyme like there is with 5 little pumpkins, but this one starts with 7 little pumpkins, and in the book something comes along and the scarecrow took one of the pumpkins, so now, oh yikes, there's 6. So it helps with backwards counting. So we start with 7 and then there are 6, and then a mummy comes to pick a pumpkin and oh no, now there are 5, and it just keeps going like that. So pirates come and there's her skeletons. She gets very excited with her skeletons, and our whole skeleton thing happened because if you have seen those huge, like tall skeleton decorations that people have in their yards, she saw one and was like very afraid of it. We didn't even know she knew the word scared, but she was like, I scared, Mama, I scared. But we also have taught her that she's a brave girl. And so slowly she got closer and closer to the skeleton. And now she loves skeletons. I think she like brave bonded with them. She's like, okay, I was scared, but now I'm brave. And so like, I'm going to really like skeletons. And so skeleton everything in our house right now. So skeleton, she's actually going to be a skeleton for Halloween. I asked her if she wanted to be Elsa. She wants to be a skeleton, which I actually prefer. I wasn't super fond of Elsa, but I had the costume because somebody gave it to her to play dress up in. And I was like, great, we already have an Elsa costume. Nope, kid wants to be a skeleton. So a skeleton we will be. But it just keeps counting down. So one of the skeletons takes a pumpkin. There are 4. And then an owl swoops in and she says, hoo, hoo. And then the owl takes one of the pumpkins and there are 3. And it keeps going down. The witch adds 1 to her potion and now there are 2. And then a spider takes 1. And now there is just 1 left. And she loves this page because the pumpkin is hiding. And then on this page, here it is, all aglow. Happy Halloween. And so we talk about how a pumpkin can be a pumpkin, or if you carve a face into it, it's a jack-o'-lantern. So it helps with vocabulary. She's learning new words. She's learning to count backwards. We're working on that. She just started learning to count. She can count all by herself, 1 to 10. And now we're trying to tell her that you can count backwards too. So 1 little pumpkin. This is it is a counting one, but it's also just another really fun one that she loves because, like I said, she loves Lift the Flap. This says pop-up surprise, and it is. Like, they do pop up a little bit, but I would consider this more so like a Lift the Flap book. But this one counts up from 1. So we have 1 little pumpkin, 2 silly monsters, and then whoop, pop up. She finds this funny because she loves apples right now. And she says, monsters are eating apples. And then we have 3 owls and 4 sneaky ghosts pop out to say boo. But see, this page doesn't actually pop up. It just opens. So I consider this more of a Lift the Flap book. But some of the pages do pop up, like the wolf howl at the moon. 7 witches, 8 vampires that turn into bats. And then we have 9 black cats, soft and sweet. And then we always go, knock, 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 knock. Who's at the door? And she opens the door. And it's 10 friends. Say trick or treat. And then we look at the numbers on each page. And it's just another fun book that also has a little bit of learning involved in it because you've got your numbers and you're counting. And I love the illustrations in this book too. It's actually one of my favorites. It's really cute. So a Halloween counting book. And then our last one, unfortunately, this one I could not find any new ones. Amazon says they're out, but there are still used copies that you can buy. And she actually picked this one out for herself and was really excited about it. And I usually don't do like a lot of like Mickey or like themed books like that. Like we try and stick to just kind of generic books because Mickey and Elsa, those are things that she sees on TV, and that's fine. And it's fine if we have some. Like we do have some Frozen books that she's picked out herself. But I try and usually steer clear of those just because we see them on the TV and I want her books to be a little different. But this one I actually love as a ex-kindergarten preschool teacher. This one is H for Halloween, a book of first words and ABCs. And it's another pop-up. Well, I'm not going to be able to show the whole thing. There we go. But the letter is kind of cut out, so you trace the letter. So we've been working on using our letter, and we go, trace the letter. And so she'll kind of trace it with her finger, not the correct way usually, but she's only 2. So she goes, A, and she'll say the letter, and then Abu and Aladdin juggle apples. And then there are all these lift the flaps with A words. So arrow, I think this is either ants or apple. Ants, apple, and then B, Belle and the Beast brush black bats from the attic. And so when we read it, I actually try and emphasize the B in each word. So I go, Belle and the Beast brush black bats from the attic, because I'm really trying to get her to associate letters with sounds. So B, 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 B. And she can trace it. We do a few pages a night. We don't do the whole book because that would be very long, because she likes to open all the things, talk about the whole picture, trace all the letters. So we usually do 2 to 3 pages a night. But like Lilo and Stitch collect candy in a cauldron. So each page has a slight Halloween theme. You've got Russell and Doug all dressed up. Let's see, we've got, they're in a haunted house. Here's Elsa and Anna. So it's got a lot of the stories woven in. We've got Mickey, and he's dressed as a mummy. So you open it up, and he's a mummy. So we say M, and then it's got the moon. So this is just, in my mind, a really fun learning book, but also just fun for them because they can lift the flaps. Like P is for pie, or puppy. And she loves this page because the puppy has a patch like mama. So for those that don't know, I lost my eye to cancer, so I wear an eye patch, and she loves pointing out when somebody has an eye patch like mama, and Patch has an eye patch like me. Pillow, patch, and another puppy pretend to be pirates. So just another fun one. You've got, Lightning McQueen. You've got all of your fun classic Disney stories in here, which she likes because she knows a lot of them. She knows Pooh, and she says, oh, zebra. So she knows how to say zebra, and we're learning that Z is for zebra. I do wish they had put more Z things on the zebra page, or on the Z page. You just have zipper and zebra, whereas some pages have like, I think this one has 1, 2, 3. So Y only has 3, but then some pages have like 5 or 6 words. And I know, some of the letters are harder to find words for that are easy for kids to understand in correlation with a picture, but just wish there was a few more Z words. But that's it. Those are our Halloween board book fun, and I hope you enjoyed. We also have a lot of non-board book Halloween books, but these are our board books, and I think great for toddlers. She loves all of them. We have a seasonal book basket, so these go in our seasonal book basket, and she, more often than not, sticks to wanting to read the seasonal books, over and over each night, as opposed to books that we have out all the time, because it's something new for her, and they're in a special spot, so it makes her gravitate towards them, which I enjoy because it gives us a break from the books we read over and over and over again. Even though we spend the whole month of October reading these over and over and over again. But that's what's helpful for children's little brains to learn. And so those are our books. If you have any books that you love, let me know what they are. These are just some of ours. Happy month of October, which is my favorite month. And happy Halloween. Bye.